All right, on that note, we have the man who makes Jim Carrey blush, Mr. Steve Cox.
I didn't supply that intro. My daughter's here, and she's right there. And she's just 11 years old, and I have a feeling that I'm going to spend the rest of the evening explaining Arash and Stevens' act. Like, no, sweetie, law school doesn't have a special ed program. Well, hey, you know what? Check this out. This, over the Christmas break, I got married. Thank you for that forced enthusiasm. That was really nice. No, I did. I got married, and I'm really excited because I think that this is the kind of marriage that's really going to last. Because the thing is we have a lot of things in common. We're very philosophically in tune with each other, which I think is really critical to having a good marriage. Now, a lot of you guys are very young, so you're going to get married for a lot of really bad reasons. It's going to be like, oh gosh, she's so hot. She's so hot. I got to marry her. Oh, he's got so much money. Oh, I got to marry that guy. Oh God, I'm pregnant. All right, I got to get married. I got to marry that guy. And those aren't good reasons. What you need is, again, that philosophical bedrock that you can, you have a certain amount of agreement about things. So, for example, my wife and I are, neither of us are religious people. And in fact, we're both very, very offended by the whole concept of intelligent design. You guys familiar with intelligent design? I mean, basically the idea is that life is so complex that there must have been some sort of, creator behind it. But you see, the thing is, the whole theory falls apart when you look at the human body and how poorly it is designed. I mean, except for Kyle's. Kyle Torsa is the perfect being. So other than Kyle, our bodies are fairly poorly designed. I mean, think about it. You've got teeth, wisdom teeth, jammed into our jaws that we don't have any room for. We've got an appendix, which is a ticking time bomb in our inside. Men have nipples. And our genitalia are unattractive. Okay? So, but the one that really gets me is childbirth. Now, some of you have probably had children. I, of course, do. Mine is right here. And I just remember when she was born, and I'm there, and her mom is there, and Emma comes out, and they take her over to the little table where they process babies when they come out. And so I wander over there to look at her, and she looks exactly like she's been in a bar fight. Right? She's bruised, she's scraped up, her head is all the wrong shape, she's pissed off. I mean, it just was like, she's just covered in goo. So I watched what they were doing for a little while, and then I decided, well, I should go over and see how, my wife at the time was doing. And so I wander over there, and I stand there, and on this table, there is a bowl full of nasty. I mean, it's just, I found out the technical term for that is placenta, okay? But there's a bowl of that on the table, it's gross. The doctor is kneeling in front of Emma's mom, and there's blood everywhere, and she's stitching her back up, okay? And I thought, you know what? This is not intelligent design. This is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, is what this is. This is the disgusting process. And I thought, if God exists and he designed this, then he had to have been, sitting at his desk, had his laptop open, had Facebook up, and, he's sitting there trying to figure out, he's like, okay, I've got, all right, big baby, little opening, how am I gonna make this work? Oh, a kitty with a frowny face. Oh, I'm gonna forward this to Satan because it will really brighten up his day. He's such a sourpuss. So he got distracted, didn't finish the job. I think we all know what that's all about. So, but there's one beyond childbirth that's even closer to my heart. And that is, and this is for the men out there. Right on. This is for the men out there. We have this little organ called the prostate, right? And it's in our bodies, and our urethras, okay? You follow me here? Go through it, all right? If you follow me, you want me to visualize this for you? Okay. No, you can't hear. No. You don't need the visual on that. Just trust me. It goes up through the penis, and on its way to the bladder, goes through the prostate, which is about that big, and it is involved in the production of semen. Okay. So the problem with that is first, as we get older, the prostate gland, back me up on this, Professor Wise. The prostate gland, it expands. It naturally expands. And the downside to that is it closes off the urethra, and it results in what we call a weak stream. Okay. Now, I'm not there yet. Okay, but the worst part of it is that there's another problem. It goes like this. I had this little problem. I had some irritation in my bladder, so I went to the urologist, and I described my symptoms, and he's like, "Well, I'm not sure what it is. I think we're going to have to look inside your bladder." And I'm like, "Okay, sure, that sounds fine." Was that an X-ray, MRI, something like that? And he's like, "No. What I have is this long scope. I have a scope on the end of this long, flexible rod, and I'm going to run it up your urethra, and I'm going to put it into your bladder, and I'm going to look inside." And so, I thought about that for a second, and I said, "Fuck no. Absolutely not." From the time I was old enough to grasp a golf pencil, I knew that things only come out of there. They don't go back in. All right, so he talked me into it. So here's where we come to our problem. The scope goes in, it's going along, things are going pretty much okay. But then when the urethra goes through the prostate gland, it takes a hard right-hand turn up into the bladder. And so he had to shove it so that it would curve up. It's like being stabbed from the inside. Okay, so that is, not only is it painful, but it's so invasive, okay? And all right, I heard the rumblings, I know, okay, ladies, I understand. You're like, okay, you don't understand invasive until you've had a pap smear, buddy. And yes, I get that you're on the table, you got your legs in the air, the doctor's there, they got some instruments, they're, I don't know, taking core samples, counting the rings, checking the oil. I don't know what exactly goes on in a pap smear. I don't need to know, but trust me, this other procedure is quite nearly as bad. But the worst one, okay, the worst one is this. Often your urologist, besides wanting to check your bladder and ram things up your wiener, he wants to check your prostate. Okay, does everybody know? Everybody follow me? Okay. So it turns out that it's conveniently located so that the doctor can, just using his finger, can press on it and tell you if it's inflamed or if there's like a tumor or something like that. And so that's called a digital rectal exam. And I think I'm going to have to check your prostate. Suddenly, the entire mood in the room changes, okay? You want to think that you can just handle it like an adult. Like, this is just another procedure. This is like getting your ears checked, or, he's checking your tonsils or whatever. But we both know, me and the urologist know, that he's going to put on a rubber glove, lube up, and cram his finger up my butt, okay? And the thing is my urologist was pretty close to retirement. He didn't, really care about that kind of stuff anymore. He didn't care about my feelings, my reaction to it. And so to him, it was just all a very mechanical procedure. And he'd be in there working my prostate like an executive stress ball, okay? He's like, Oh man, my wife, I think she's been cheating on me. The other urologists are talking behind my back. Is this uncomfortable? Thanks, you guys are doing great.